Good evening, church. You know, there's all kinds of religions out there. I try to avoid religion. I mean, if I had to be nailed down, if I had to wear a tag that labeled me, I guess you'd call me I'm somewhere on the line of Pentecostal and Baptist. I believe in speaking in tongues and laying the hands on of the elders of the church, laying the hands on the sick and praying for on the altar and stuff like that. At the altar, I believe just what the Bible says about tongues. I believe that if someone's blessed with the spirit of speaking in tongues, that will come. And then if you'll sit silent long enough and wait, there'll be an interpreter that brings it in English language where everybody can hear it. Now that is a blessing brought for the church. Everyone. You'll hear people speak in tongues all the time, and there won't be no interpretation brought back. That blessing was simply for that person. That's all that was. That was a blessing for that person alone. But right now, the Lord's got me in the book of Ecclesiastes because I constantly seek wisdom. And I will take something as simple as, some of the simplest things you can ever imagine that worry me to death. Crazy stuff worries me to death because it's not crazy, it's just why would somebody do that? And I will beat it until I finally am enlightened on it. And it may either come from this book here, or it may come from me standing under a barn in the rain one day. And I see how the water's puddling up and forming, and how it's creating a pond, which in Florida here we know what a pond is. It's liable to be dry as a popcorn fart, or knee deep, waist deep. Float your hat deep, okay? Better loosen your tie down. You can cross him with your horse, because you didn't swim. Okay, that's a pond in Florida. Can be either one, given the season. It's a variable. But here a while back, I was trying to figure out why would somebody. Okay, we were in a drought, and somebody I'd heard was throwing sand in their pond because the cattle were getting stuck in it. And I could not imagine why they wouldn't just dig deeper. Now I'm telling you, I beat this thing for 4 or 5 weeks. For the life of me, I could not understand why they didn't have a hoe out there. Instead of trucking in sand, take a hoe out there and dig it deeper, and water will be there. Standing under my barn in the rain one day, I noticed that as there was raining, there was a pot I keep out by the water spigot there that drips to keep the water from my dog. But it was raining, there was a pond forming under the barn there where it's low, the water's coming in. I need to put some shell out there while I'm on that subject. But there's a pond forming there where I was trying to work. And my dog was sitting there with me, and I got to looking at things. All right, I'm no brainchild. I'll tell you right now, this here is not the brightest. I'm not the sharpest crayon in the box. But it just, clarity hit me that quick. Well, hell, if my dog didn't want to get his feet wet, or was a chance of him getting stuck if that got soft enough right there, and he needed to get his pot of water over yonder, I need to put sand right here. And I done just that with my boot. I kicked sand over it, and that pond was going that quick. Make sense? Then I had enlightenment. Why this man had trucked sand in over the pond, because apparently there was either a water trough, a windmill with a trough, or some kind of apparatus rig to where there was constant water there all the time beyond that pond. See, I only caught a small portion of the whole big story, but I can just about put it all together and tell you that was the deal. There was water somewhere that pond was in the middle of them cattle getting to it. That's the only reason that he wouldn't have dug deeper. Okay? Clarity, understanding, full knowledge of everything is very important. Because had that man that told me this was going on, that typically did, I would not have pondered this so long. If he'd have told me, and he didn't know, he just said that they'd been putting sand in the ponds. Well, hell, I asked him, well, why ain't he digging deeper? But he, it was just a lack of, there was a quick conversation. He may have knew, and he was just throwing it out there. But I took it, and it was a healthy experience for me. It was a healthy And I mean, daily, every day, I struggled with that thing. So, Ecclesiastes is full of wisdom because it was written by King Solomon, one of the oldest, wisest men to ever live. And anytime I'm seeking wisdom or seeking any kind of, because that's all I do is I seek wisdom. I never get it. But I seek for it all the time. These are the words of the teacher, King David's son, who ruled in Jerusalem. Everything is meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. What do people get for all their hard work? Generations come and go, but nothing really changes. The sun rises and sets and hurries around to rise again. The wind blows south and north here and there, twisting back and forth, getting nowhere. The rivers run into the sea, and the sea is never full. Then the water returns again, and the rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full again. Then the water returns again, and the sea is full. Everything is so weary and tiresome. Weary and tiresome, everything. No matter how much we see, we are never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we are not content. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. What can you point out that is new? How do you know that didn't already exist long ago? We don't remember what happened in those former times. And in the future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now. I, the teacher, was king of Israel, and I lived in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to search for understanding and explore by wisdom everything being done in the world. I soon discovered that God has dealt a tragic existence to the human race. Everything under the sun is meaningless, like chasing the wind. What is wrong cannot be righted. That's a word, righted. What is wrong cannot be righted. You can't make it right. It's wrong. It is intentionally made wrong, and you can't right it. What is missing cannot be recovered. I said to myself, look, I am wiser than any of the kings who ruled in Jerusalem before me. I have greater wisdom and knowledge than any of them. So I worked hard to distinguish wisdom from foolishness. But now I realize that even that was like chasing the wind. For the greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase knowledge only increases sorrow. Tell you something. I've gained a lot of knowledge. But I've been places. I've been in some bad joints. Joint's a bad place to be. Folks, checking my time, see how much time I got left. I'll tell you something. I've been to prison. I've done 17 months writing bad checks. They were actually stolen checks I'd bought from someone, and I was going through some hard time, rough time, and I just got a real bad case of don't give a damn. So I got me a motel room and I went to writing checks daily, and I was living large. But I knew I knew where I was headed, so I might as well make a party of it before I go. And I went to prison. Now, let me tell you what I found out in prison. I catch little remarks from people all the time, cutting a fool, kidding around. And there's some people who was even concerned. What people think about prison that have never been there, and their fears of prison, you don't have to worry about that today. You see, no one's fighting to conserve what's given so liberal. You hear me? There are plenty in prison of those right out here you see on the news every day. This world is evolving. So is the prison inside. There are those in prison that go out and commit crimes that'll put them in there for life because that's where they want to be. They live large in there. The sissies who live large in prison, they are highly paid for what they do. You understand? I blessed every sissy I could while I was there with the extra commissary that I had, extra money I had. Thank you, brother. I am so glad you are where you are at today. You don't know how glad I am you are here and you are who you are. That's a fact. But I saw some things in prison that I wish I had never seen.